Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're continuing our voyage through the most obscure chess variants, and we're playing a variant that really stood out to me. Cloister is a two-player chess variant where each player starts with 8 wazirs, which move one square in each orthogonal direction. Captured pieces turn into bricks and can also be placed back onto the board. The goal is to stalemate your opponent or to capture the last wazir on the board. My goal is to win one game. Let's get started with game number 1. Alright, game number 1 we get the black pieces, and the opponent starts with a capture, which you can see immediately turns this piece into a brick and gives the opponent that wazir to place back onto the board. I'd imagine I should capture a piece myself, so we'll do exactly that. I'm going to be honest, the reason this caught my attention firstly is because my favorite piece, which I lovingly referred to as the Bob for a very long time because I couldn't find its actual name, covered the entire board, and that was the only piece on the entire board, which to me is very strange for a chess variant. The second reason this stood out to me is because I thought this could be like pretty easily solved. At first glance, it looks pretty darn simple, and then you find out that pieces turn into bricks, and you're incentivized to put wazirs back onto the board, etc. So it got complicated pretty darn fast thereafter. Let's go ahead and take here. The opponent takes back, and I think I just win if I capture. Even though the opponent could place more wazirs, I think by capturing this last one, I win the game. Okay, cool. And I think the reason that that is a mechanic is because it incentivizes the opponent to put pieces back onto the board instead of just hoarding them the entire time, and I guess the same thing for myself. All right, with that, we win one game. Let's go to move on to game number 2. All right, game number 2, this time we get the white pieces. I'd imagine I'm going to start with the same strategy. I will say, I did the same thing that I usually do with these obscure variants, and I went to the leaderboard to see what the top players do. And to be completely frank, I think it's a skill issue on my part because I'm used to thinking more in sort of chess terms, and this, I'd imagine, probably resembles a game other than chess, more closely than chess itself. But it was very difficult for me to find any pattern in what the opponent was, or rather, in what the top players were doing. Okay, so here we get a piece placed back onto the board. I'd imagine I can keep capturing because that actually traps this wazir in the corner of the board, which I think should be advantageous for me. Okay, they take. Calculating here is very difficult as well because we're playing under bullet. So takes wins me the game. So now I'm incentivized to continue capturing. Right, so they place another Bob, so that's not the case. Should I take, they take back, and then I would lose the game. So I should place a Bob. I guess here's fine. They move a Bob out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to place a whole bunch of Bobs and see what happens, because I'm too low on time to do any sort of calculating. Okay, they take, oh, and I should be able to take back? Oh, it doesn't win me the game because he's managed to, or rather, I've managed to trap one of their Bobs in the corner. I'll go ahead and take back. And that Bob is stalemated, but doesn't actually lose them the game. But if I place my Bob, I do stalemate them with 2 seconds on the clock. I managed to run away with the victory. Of course, I will accept a rematch. Very, very strange. The fact that there are 2 win conditions is very amusing to me. It seems like such a simple game, but somehow it ends up being kind of complicated. Okay, of course they start with a capture. I think that's the right thing to do. I think you should start with a capture, so you have some ammunition to work with. They continue with another capture. Okay, I will follow suit. And they place a Bob. Now, the interesting thing is there's really no such thing as defending another Bob, right? So should I capture this? This one's just stuck in the corner. And should I capture this one? This one's also stuck in the corner. And I think I've left them with no choice but to move out of the way. Oh, they capture this one. Interesting. That's very interesting. Now, here's the thing. I want to force them to stalemate themselves. But they resign. Okay, what I was going to do was place a Bob up here, which I think would have left them with nowhere to move. Okay, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. I know that I said my goal was to win one game, but that's more so a insurance policy so that if I end up playing 5 games, each 10 minutes long of, one of these super obscure variants, I can run away with my one victory. But this seems to be a pretty fast-paced game. Let's go ahead and take towards the sides. And I guess my goal should be to trap one of their Bobs. I don't think that's actually possible for me right now, though. So I'll just keep taking Bobs. That's fine with me. I've just realized, I think I've been calling them Bobs now for the majority of the video, and I didn't even realize. Wazirs. I think we should, as much as I love to, deeringly call them Bobs, I think we should call them by their appropriate names, now that we know what they are. Okay, so should I take? That's totally fine, I think. They place a Bob, sure. I suppose I can just make a waiting move. I can also place a Bob myself to control more squares on the board. Okay, they follow suit. Now, how do I actually stalemate them is the question. I'm just going to buy myself some time. Okay, they place a bob. I'll shuffle over again. Okay, they're just buying time. What if I place a bob here and force them to take? I mean, I'm not really forcing them to take, but I'm tempting them to, so it eliminates one of those squares. Okay, and I'll do the same thing again. I really want them to capture, so they end up placing bobs in positions where they stalemate themselves. I'll shuffle over again. I mean, they could do the same to me, but I'm kind of just, okay, they do exactly that. I was hoping it would work out in my favor, but I guess they can place a bob there. I'll take. They shuffle over. Am I just way worse now? Oh, and I can't take. Oh, and then I flag. I couldn't grab my piece in time. GG's to the opponent. I got absolutely finessed there at the end. I'm not even sure if there was something that I could have done. Well, who knows? I guess this variant isn't as solvable as I thought. Oh, and we get paired with Megan. Megan finds their way into every video. That's really funny to me. Okay, we'll take here. We'll try to use some of what we've learned, which is really not that much, but trapping the enemy pieces is good. Capturing a bunch of Wazirs at the beginning is also good because you sort of fire up your ammunition. I saw you playing this and I wanted to try it. It is very strange, but fun. Good luck. All right, let's go ahead and continue capturing pieces. Again, I think at the very beginning, just loading yourself up on Wazirs is valuable. I have not yet figured out if I should be capturing towards the center or towards the edge of the board. I don't know which one of those is more conducive towards my general idea of trapping Wazirs. I'm not even sure if it really matters, to be honest. Okay, let's take this way. I'm just imagining that I want as many capturing options as possible, so I don't want to take away my own options by capturing with my own Wazir. Megan says good luck as well. Thank you very much. I mean, I could also play this dirty and hope that I can confuse Megan into losing by just playing very fast without calculating too much, but that seems to be bad sportsmanship, so I'm going to actually try and legitimately win. So I've placed a bob here. Oh, a Wazir. Holy cow, maybe I should just call him Bob. I've placed a bob here. A Wazir. Oh my god, twice in a row is too much. Okay, and now I can take and win the game. I was gonna say I placed a Wazir there to control more squares. Again, there's really no such thing as protecting other pieces, so you really just want to basically have control over empty squares. We do get offered a rematch. I am more than happy to play another game, this time with black pieces. So instead of protecting one Wazir with another, it's like 10 times more important to protect empty squares with Wazirs. I think that's pretty much the gist of it, at least. What are you supposed to do? Genuinely not sure. You can... Okay, I just dropped the win conditions in chat for Megan. Maybe we can solve this variant together. For the most part, the progress that I've made is trapping the enemy pieces obviously works your way towards stalemate, and capturing Wazirs early on gives you sort of firepower to drop more Wazirs and control more squares. Beyond that, I'm not totally sure what the idea is here. I forgot I'm even playing with the black pieces. Okay, let's take, which is always a good idea, I think, with the black pieces, because should Megan take, I can take back and immediately win the game. But yeah, it's very amusing. I'm not sure that there's a whole bunch of strategy beyond that. I mean, again, it could completely be a skill issue that I'm just not seeing further into it. But I will say I've been styling the strategy of capturing towards the side. So maybe I should try a game where I capture towards the center and see if something different happens. It's confusing, I can't lie. 100% I agree. That is spot on. And to be honest, I selected this variant sort of as a break from the more complicated ones, and somehow I've found myself in a dead end of not really being sure what I'm after here. For the time being, we'll just work with those two ideas, capture early on, load up on Wazirs, and then try to find a way to trap the opponent's pieces. I will also say, I think keeping the tension even is important. And what I mean by that is I captured this way, so there were always 3 pairs of Wazirs, or rather this way, right? I'm not even sure if I kept the tension, but that was my idea. Okay, I can't take here because should Megan capture, I would lose the game. So I just want to control more squares. I think I can do that like this. I kind of quote unquote sacrifice one of my bobs, but or one of my Wazirs, holy cow. But it also would leave me with a Wazir that controls 4 squares. I mean, that also means that should my opponent place a Wazir, I would take it, and then that Wazir doesn't control all those squares, but I don't know. All right, let's take here. Should they capture? They've trapped their own bob, so I should be able to just place this and control a whole bunch of squares, right? Because now I'm controlling all of these empty squares, and I think I can make I can make the last capture, but it doesn't actually get rid of all of the Wazirs. Holy cow, I need to play fast now. Holy cow, I need to play fast. Oh, I won! Oh, I stalemated the opponent! Holy cow, because they didn't have any more Wazirs to place. Holy smokes, I'll admit, I wasn't even calculating calculating any of that. I got confused. I thought that I could win the game by being the last capture while they still had a bob on the board, but that's not the case. Okay, now that we've got our composure once more, I do get the black pieces. I said I was going to capture towards the center just to see what would happen. So we will give exactly that a try. Okay, let's keep capturing in the middle. I really don't have a choice now, so I'll capture on the edge of the board. So it's created now this sort of wall in the middle. It's very strange because now they really can't interact. Again, I want to control as many squares as possible, so I'm going to drop a bob or wazir right here, controlling these two squares. They drop a wazir to match. Let's go here. I think I'm okay with this capture because that would turn into a brick. And I control this pair of squares, and also I kind of control this set of 3. So I can make waiting moves, is basically what I've accomplished. They place a wazir. Now if I take, it creates another brick, which stalemates this one. They place another wazir. I think I can drop this one pretty comfortably. And basically my hope is that I can just move this one back and forth. Okay, and my hopes are shattered. Okay, should I take, they would take back. Turns that into another brick. I think oh, it turns mine into a brick as well, which loses me the game. Oh, I totally forgot that these are not regular captures. Oh man, calculating in this is very counterintuitive. All right, we'll accept one more game. All right, with the white pieces, I don't feel like capturing towards the middle of the board did me any favors. I wish that I could be a little more concrete than that, but I just don't think it served me well. That could just be a coping mechanism though. So I'm gonna keep capturing towards the side. Okay, they capture towards the middle of the board. I think I should keep capturing towards the side. Now again, they have the black pieces, so they're incentivized to capture, because if I make this last trade, they take and I lose the game. But I'm going to drop a bob here and control as many squares as possible. I think that's the right approach. Maybe. Okay, they place a bob. Should I take? They take. It's like I'm just not even sure what I'm supposed to be calculating. Okay, I think I should take here because it stalemates this bob, which I think is a good thing. Okay, they take this one. Now I'm going to place a bob, and I like that I have squares that I can move to. The opponent does as well though, kind of. What if I just place this? I guess my goal now is just to trade everything off. Oh, maybe that's a strategy. You just place a whole bunch of bobs until everything is traded. And then the goal is just to stalemate the opponent. Oh, that could be a viable strategy. Trap one of their bobs in a corner and then trade everything else off as fast as you can. I think that might actually be pretty safe and sound. Okay, we'll place here. They have to drop this one, I take, and that is stalemate. Okay, wait a second. I said this was gonna be the last game, but I'm going to queue up again. We do get paired with Megan again. Megan, shout out for enduring my learning curve. We get the black pieces this time. So we already know that I'm incentivized to take. Now my thought process is, I want to trap one of their bobs. If I can do that, then I just want to trade everything off. I think that's pretty sound. Okay, let's go ahead and keep taking on the sides. Again, I still have the black pieces, so I'm totally incentivized to just take. If we take all the way up until the very end, then I win the game, but they break the tension here. So now there's no longer a nice, neat pair of bobs across the board. Now, how do I trap one of them? I don't think I can yet. I'm gonna take this way. And they do take back. Let's go here. Here? You can see we have 4 pairs of squares to control. They control 2 of them. I also control 2 of them as well. I think a sacrifice here is sound because it doesn't actually lose me more control. Should they capture, then the best that they can do is place a bob back on that square and then it's stalemated. So it's not like they're controlling more squares, if that makes sense. I'm just playing moves that look like they make sense, but I still don't fully understand. Don't fret. I think that makes 2 of us. Okay, and I'll do the same thing here, right? Should they take, it would place a brick, but they don't take. Interesting. Okay, I will take here and then place a bob back on the board, and I either control all of the squares or they're stalemated. So I think I can just wait them out now. Right, so I can take, and then it gives me another wazir to place back on the board. They place one down as well. I'll place one here. They have to place one. I can take. And I think, nice. I think that does win me the game. Okay, I think we might have found a strategy. Before I accept the rematch, I think the strategy is just control more squares than the opponent, try and trap a piece, and then go for stalemate. I think that's the idea. All right, we will accept the rematch. Now I have the white pieces. Now I still think that I'm incentivized to capture wazirs. Again, we want to load up our army so we can place pieces back onto the board, but, oh, thank you, yes, of course. But I can't capture up until the very end because then black would immediately win the game. Okay, they do take here. Let's continue capturing. Okay, and that's the last capture that I can make. Should I take, they just take, and then I lose the game. So now we're just fighting for squares, right? So I think I kind of centralize my wazir and I control these 2 squares. They do take, so now we have 2 stalemating squares. If any Wazirs are placed there, they're basically there forever. There's no way to get them out of there. Oh, but I can take here, wait a minute, and then I'm the last one with a Wazir on the board, which wins me the game. Okay, I think we're just running with that strategy pretty much. They do offer a rematch. I think this will be the last game, and I think I've done some decent understanding of this game. So more so out of superstition, I will be capturing towards the side of the board. The second thing is capture early on, but not so much that the opponent just wins the game because they are the last player standing. And the goal is control as many squares as possible and try to force your opponent to stalemate their own pieces, which I guess is explicitly stated in the goal of the variant, but somehow that feels like a revelation to me, kind of. Oh, and also giving up Wazirs to force your opponent to take, and then creating a sort of stalemate square is also valuable, I think. What did they play? Oh, they captured this, I think. Okay, what do I do here? Let's take here. It creates a stalemating square right here, and they take as well. Okay, I'm gonna place a Wazir right here, controlling a whole bunch of squares. We have another stalemating square here. I think I'm totally justified in taking. They place another Wazir. Okay, we'll sack one right here. Should they take, we create another stalemating square, which is exactly what they do. So there are now 3 stalemating squares on the board. I will drop a Wazir right here. Should they take, I move out of the way, and I think I immediately win the game. Should they place a Wazir here? Okay, I think I just move out of the way, right? I'm not totally crazy. I think I just move out of the way, and then I'll place a Wazir if they drop one in one of the stalemating squares, which they do. They place another, we'll just move out of the way, and we do manage to flag them on time. With that, we win I don't even know how many games, and I think we've made some progress in this variant. Again, it will be the first link in the description if you want to go and give it a try yourself. Let me go ahead and say good games in chat. Thanks for playing. And I will call it a day there. I mean, I genuinely did try to find a very simple variant to play, and somehow this one turned into an equally confusing variant. Thank you as well, of course. All right, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you guys do have specific variants that you want me to try, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And if not, I will do my evil deed of picking the next confusing variant to try out. I will see you guys in the next one.